can you give us a few examples of who that TrustCore SDK user is? How are they using the product?
Yeah. So we have customers that are in the telecommunications space that are building 5G equipment, that are utilizing TrustCore on the devices. Some of them are using it because it's got that FIPS compliance, the FIPS 140-2 and soon 140-3. We have customers using it on devices like rail switches. We recently were chatting with a customer, and they've been using TrustCore for over 10 years. And they're continuing to use it on their devices that switch rail tracks. We have customers in the industrial IoT space that have been using it for a number of years. Also, we have customers OEMs that are building photocopiers. So it kind of ranges the gamut. It's not necessarily designed for consumer products. It can certainly work on consumer products, but historically it's been on high value targets from a threat perspective. So that's kind of the profile of our customer. But we're starting to see more consumer customers looking at it because now consumer devices are going to be regulated. Like we talked about the EU Cyber Resilience Act. That is non-discriminate. It will regulate consumer devices too. So now consumer device builders have to provide security in their products.
I think you and I can both attest we've spent the majority of both of our careers in the IoT space. I know, at least from my experience, that security and making sure these devices are secure has been a conversation, but it just seems like in the past couple of years that conversation has amplified. Why is it suddenly becoming so important? Like I said, we've had IoT for years. What's changed? I mean, other than just the regulation, I guess.
Well, that's the key. That's the key thing that's changed. And the why is the industry failed to self-regulate. And so, especially in the consumer device world, you would often go to Best Buy or shop anywhere, buy something off Amazon, bring it home, and never get an update. And then there's a vulnerability found and exploited, and suddenly those home cameras can be turned into bots and used to attack government websites. And so, we've had lots of stories like that. Regulators kind of let things happen and unfold, and now they're basically saying enough is enough. So that's where the EU Cyber Resilience Act comes in, and now will cover traditionally even non-regulated devices. Certain devices have always been regulated, medical devices, right? So in the EU, that's the EU MDR, medical device regulation. In the US, that's the FDA, right? And they've always had regulations, but even in the medical space, they've recently published updated guidance. So the FDA published last fall updated pre-market guidance for any new products going to market. And the bar for security on medical devices has gone up dramatically as well. So, but if you look globally, you'll see now regulations covering all sorts of sectors, and specifically the consumer device sector. So the UK PSTI, EU Cyber Resilience Act, and we see many others of these coming out worldwide. So that is really the big why is security important now. It's because the industry has failed to do their job in this space, so governments are stepping in.